Welcome back to VR Obsession. And I'd like to give you a short demo for a gem of a game we came across recently called Miracle Pool. It is a billiards game, but it's unlike any digital billiards game that you've ever played. It's not one of those aim the ball, swipe your finger, hit the ball. It doesn't feel like anything like pool games. This one, you set up a virtual pool table in any space that you like, and you walk around it and you play on it. So let's dive in, check it out. Now, I've already played it before. The first time you play, it'll run you through a tutorial. I've already done that, so it'll start me off a little differently. But no matter what you do, the first thing you have to do is set up the table in your space.
Welcome to Miracle Pool.
The table arrives in this nice fancy box. You can see the outline of the table on the top of the box. It's actually a little than the box itself. Just try to line it up by pointing your controller. Hit the trigger button when you want to place it. You can move it around later if you like. Isn't this cool? It looks like there's a 3D pool table in my room. Once we start playing, you'll be able to see it better when that menu goes away. Now you can change the size of the table depending on what kind of space you have. You can see right here, I have it set to big by default. Let's take a look, let's see how it looks when I change it to small. Much smaller, as you can see, back to big. Now let's see what huge looks like. I'm going to change it back to big. I think that's a good size for this space. Now, I think this game is good no matter what level of play you are, beginner to expert. As you can see here, it'll even track an estimated ELO score for you, depending on how you play. There are leaderboards that you can challenge yourself with against other people. This is important, the game style. I have it set up to simulator, so it's more like a real pool experience. You can change it to arcade if you want. What that does is that actually shows you some cheater lines for your angles to line up shots, but I'm going to simulate. And here are the different ways we can play. Practice, which is kind of anything goes. It's just you on a table. You can hit any ball that you like. You don't even have to hit the cue ball. You can pick balls up with your hands, throw them off the table. A lot of different things you can do just to get some practice in. Single player, you play against AI bots. They start off easy and get harder as you progress. Online multiplayer is just what it sounds like. I've never played against people, strangers online, but I do play with my daughters in the same room. What I'll do is I'll run you through a single player experience a little bit first, then kind of give you some tips on how to set up a proper online multiplayer game. There are mini games you can play. Daily challenge is available. Join the Discord to find out news about the game or join the discussions. You can restart the tutorial if you'd like to do that again, and you can pay for add-on packs as you like. Let's go ahead and start with a practice game. So it automatically set the table up for me, and you can see there's a pool stick in my hand. The first time I played the tutorial, it asked me if I was right-handed or left-handed, and I put in I'm right-handed. Now you can grab the table and move it from here if you like. Just press with your thumb trigger buttons, grab it, and raise it, lower it. If I'm playing with my kids, I usually keep it a little bit lower. And then you can once again change the angle or even move it to another room if you like. You could even play outside if you have a patio. All right, so let me actually walk around the table a little bit just so you can kind of see how it looks. As you can see, it looks good. It looks like, the balls are shiny and the outside of the table is shiny and modern looking. It looks very nice. Let's go ahead and break the balls. See what we have. I'll tell you how to shoot here. So you basically have your two controllers. I'm going to go through pass-through mode so you can kind of see what my hands are doing and what they look like. Yeah, this is the space without the table in place. I'm just lining up the cue stick like this. Let's go back to play mode again. Now, if I want to, you can see I can move anywhere I want, and the ball will react depending on how I'm setting up my shot. If I want to set it up to be a little more sturdy, I can lower my left hand, put it on the table, and now it doesn't move around quite as much. You can always pick your hand back up again and replace if you need to. Once you're ready to shoot, press and hold the right trigger button, pull back as hard as you like. I'm going to pull back hard for a break and release. And that felt good. That felt like I was in a pool hall actually breaking a set of balls apart. And the sound is very cool too. The VR headsets have spatial sound, so it sounds like you're in a 3D space. Now from here, once again, I have my stick. I can do whatever I want. I don't even have to hit the cue ball if I don't want to because we're in practice mode. I can hit other balls. Now let me show you though what that arcade style looks like. I pressed my left controller button to get back to my menu. Let's switch it to arcade, and it looks like this. So it gives you those cheater options. I don't necessarily like to play video games with cheat options or cheat codes or helpful hints, so I'm going to turn that back off and go to simulator. And like I said to you, you can do anything you want to practice. Oh, I got lucky on that one. I would consider myself to be an average player. So what I find that this is so realistic, the same mistakes I make on a real table, I make on a virtual table. And like I said, you can do anything you want here. Remember when you're a kid and you have your friend at the other end of the table and you're picking up balls and you're trying to throw them in the hole and you're both doing it at the same time, trying to get your fingers smashed? You can actually play that in a multiplayer game in practice mode if you want to. Even throw them off the table. Bye. All right, so that's the practice mode. Let's go to a single player game. I'm going to leave practice and go to single player. Now these are your different game types you can play. 8-ball English rules, 8-ball WPA, which is basically like American style pool, 9-ball mini snooker. If you don't know what the differences are, here are the game type descriptions, and you can get more details in the menu also. I'm going to choose 8-ball. I've already beaten Frank here, and our next opponent is going to be Stephanie. Let's start that game, see what that's like. Tells you a little bit about Stephanie, her background, her difficulty level. Let's press play. Now with 3D, you're going to...
breaking.
Okay, it's saying that it's my break. And there's Stephanie, a fiery redhead across from us, ready to shoot some pool. Honestly, she's not that fiery. The avatars in this game, they root for you to win. If you make in a ball, they will clap for you. If you beat them, they will clap for you. They're always on your side. It's saying it's our break. Now, one thing that's kind of cool too is as you... Hi, Stephanie, how are you? If you approach too close to the avatar, then they will disappear and appear on the other side of the table. Let's see how that happens. Whoop, there she goes, and now she's over there. We can get close once again. She'll disappear. She's looking at me like, what are you doing? So yes, this is the middle of January. I have not taken down Christmas decorations yet. I have procrastinated. Why? Well, because I'm VR obsessed. That should be obvious. All right, let's go ahead and break these balls. Now, if you ever need to know what side that you are, stripes or solids, or what the score is, you can always look up at the top at the scoreboard. Here's Stephanie taking her shot. Now, I wish you could see this in 3D like I'm seeing it. It looks like there's a player here next to me, which is super cool.
You're up.
Another thing, too, is you don't need cheater sticks on this pool table to make those tricky shots. You know, the one that you set up your cue stick into and then slide it. This one, if you have a difficult shot, you just literally walk through the table. As you can see, I'm just walked through the table. And you can take any shot that you want. Now, if you don't like playing that way, that's okay. Just don't go inside the table. All right, right now you can see at the top on the bottom it says it's still an open table. You can pocket any ball except the 8-ball. And you can see little markers. They only appear there in the beginning of the game, but that's going to kind of guide us as to what balls we're allowed to legally hit it. Anything we do illegally will result in a foul. Like I said, I'm an average player. I know people are like looking at me like, oh, what are you doing? But, you know. Let's watch Stephanie take her play again. I love the stick action that the AI bot players have. It's pretty cool.
It's your shot.
I think it'll keep putting these markers up until someone gets at least one ball in. But I think you get the gist of the game here. We do this until the game ends. If I win, I go on to play a more difficult opponent. You can move the table from here if you want, like I just did, by using the joysticks. And adjust the table. Once again, if you need to, you can always grab the table and move it around. I kind of want to get at least one ball in so we can make these pointers go away. Oh my gosh. See, I told you. Okay, maybe I'm not average, maybe I'm below average. That was a horrible shot. Oh, Stephanie's even worse. She's a beginner. Nice try though, Stephanie. I'd like to see you
It's your shot.
watch her actually clap if I make a ball in. That'd be nice. Come on, just one ball in. Please, Stephanie, get that one in. Easy, do it. Yes. Oh, nice shot, girl. All right, you get the idea. Anyway, she would clap if I was actually getting balls in. Wow, she's rocking now. I'm going to leave this game before she beats me. So sorry. Now, the online multiplayer, it's pretty cool. I play with my 2 daughters locally. I would have a couple of recommendations for you. Well, first of all, here's a complaint, but it's not that big of one. You cannot change your avatars in the game. It gives everyone the same avatar. So you have this kind of hipster looking guy in a white t-shirt with facial hair. And, I know everybody with kids, parents with kids, they say, don't blink, time goes by fast. But you know what? That's a little too abrupt. I don't want my middle school age daughter to be a 20-something-year-old hipster with facial hair. I would love if we would be able to change our avatars. I mean, and it should be easy because there are so many avatars already built into the single-player game. Why not just have those as choices? I'm not an engineer, I'm not a developer, but guys, please give us that choice. I would also say when you set up your table in the first time, when you're playing with people in the same room with you, all stand in the same spot when you enter the game and set up your table for the first time. If you do not do that, weird things will happen. All right, so you'll appear in places you shouldn't and that kind of thing. So try to do that as closely as you can. I would also, one other recommendation I would have for a developer is to say, give us a choice of music. Like, honestly, this lounge music that we're listening to right now isn't that bad, but I'd love to have the choice to mix it up. Like, if I were in a biker bar and I wanted to hear some Motorhead playing, okay, maybe not Motorhead, I know there's licensing things there, but, maybe like a rock option or an EDM option. Or, it's just a country option. A few other things to make it more like the place where you go to play pool. That would be nice also. So I think you have the good idea of how cool this game is. I mean, those complaints to me are minor. I think this is just a very cool VR pool experience. And that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Hope you all enjoy it.